How's it going, guys? Got you a match today against GeorgeStickford. I think that's his name, or I just kind of made up a name maybe. This is from ages ago, so I honestly can't remember if it's from the Battle Finder or somewhere else. And apparently his name's GeorgeStickford, so GeorgeStickford, if you're watching this, please confirm. And if you want, I'll put your channel in the video description. But it's a pretty cool match. Bit of PU, the tier where clowns such as Fargus or Mighty Ina like to freely frolic and cause mayhem amongst the ranks of terrible Pokemon. But it's my favourite tier, that's the kind of stuff I like. Now I lead off here with my Foxmint Glaceon, and Glaceon is the special wall of my team. Go for a Toxic. I'd be lying if I said I predicted the switch, but I kind of thought he'd go for Stealth Rocks or something. But even if he did attack, Glaceon has like base 130 defense, I think. It's pretty insane. But he brings in Rotom, goes for a Volt Switch, and I believe I predicted that, or if he went for T-Bolt, that would have been equally good. Go for a Miracle as he brings in number one, the Dunsparce. Now Dunsparce, I haven't seen many of these. Actually, I've only seen this one in any competitive battle. But one thing I know that they like to do is Power Flinch. Dunsparce gets Serene Grace, and it gets stuff like, you know, T-Wave, Glare, Rock Slide, Headbutt, Body Slam, all that kind of stuff. So Power Flinching is pretty much where it's at. And I thought until recently Dunsparce was, I didn't know what it was, but looking at it now, it definitely does look like a snake. It's got like the front fangs and the rattlesnakey tail. I don't know why it has wings, but it's a weird Pokemon, it's interesting. And definitely something I should be trying to use soonish. I've never actually thought of a set for this kind of guy, but Power Flinch is definitely the way to go. So I bring in Meganium to take whatever physical hit, whether it be Rock Slide, Headbutt, whatever. Go for a Leech Seed, and that's just going to get some nice residual damage on the Dunsparce. It does get access to Roost because, yeah, it has wings, so they had to give it Roost. I don't even know why it has the wings. Why do you have the wings? You're a snake. But anyways, I go for a Leech Seed, get some health back, and not too worried about the paralysis because I do have the aromatherapy, but I believe I get paralyzed on the next couple of turns, so don't actually get to use it. Whatever, not a big problem. Brings in the Ampharos, and Ampharos does have some decent power with a Life Orb and special attacks and whatever. Physical attacks, yeah, it gets a wide variety, but much better suited on the special side. Now, the usual Ampharos set will be something along the lines of Agility, T-Bolt, Signal Beam, maybe Volt Switch, and probably more likely Hidden Power Ice over Volt Switch. But this one has Sub, and I kind of figure, okay, I better get rid of this thing before anything else. Definitely do not want this guy to have a Sub up. So I bring in Fargus. Fargus is the guy to take the damage and hopefully deal a powerful hit back. Not going to happen really because he does only break the Sub, and then I die to a T-Bolt. But that's fine. I mean, at least I do get rid of that. Now, from this point, I figure the best guy to handle Ampharos will be Grim. Now, not really knowing what he's going to go for, I just want to go for a Sub and hopefully whittle him down a little bit more with the Life Orb Recall. And that way, what I can do is hopefully get him within a range where Crunch is a guaranteed kill. And if all else fails, hopefully maybe he'll switch, or I'll get a free Sub, or something like that. Hopefully Grim can start building up the momentum as he does so enjoy doing. Now, he goes for Agility. That's fine, not really too worried, and I am behind a Sub. Now, Ampharos with Agility is definitely going to be quicker than the terrible speed of Mighty Ina. But I go for a Crunch just to, you know, break a Sub, or hopefully kill him from that kind of range. But now he's down to a point where he definitely can't Sub again. Now the problem with Life Orb over Leftovers when you're using Sub is that you've got to be careful how many Subs you make. And obviously there's a point where you can't, there's no going back pretty much unless you get a Wish. So Ampharos goes down, get the Moxie boost. Now unfortunately I did get the Static Hacks, which is going to definitely hinder my attempts at trying to get some kind of sweep with Grim. But while I've got the +1 and I'm behind a Sub, I may as well try and do some damage. Now in comes Dunsparce, goes for a Roost, and Dunsparce does have actually pretty decent bulk, so it's going to take a crunch after the roost. Now, he could keep roosting all day, hoping that eventually I'd get a paralysis, but he does also have the poison racking up as well, so I think on the next turn he is going to decide to just go for an attack, just to break the sub, and hopefully finish me off from there with something else. Now, he goes for Rock Slide, obviously going to break the sub. My Tina has no defense whatsoever, and I just kill him off with a crunch. Now, here's the hard part. In comes the Rotom next, as I get my second Moxie boost. Now, I think I had a good reason for this at the time, but my sweep is actually going to be cut short here by the Rotom, as I don't go for the Sucker Punch. Now, my reason at the time was I was over-predicting way too much, and I assumed he'd go for Trick or something, just to, you know, hopefully lock me into Sucker Punch, and then I wouldn't be able to do anything against, like, a defensive Pokemon. But in hindsight, I probably should have gone for Sucker Punch anyway, just to be safe. And on that second turn, I over-predict again, thinking that he'll try and switch just to preserve his Rotom, and hopefully, you know, go into something else and finish me off. But that doesn't happen. So I lose Grim, not really too big a deal, as I do have my Glaceon left, which can definitely take on this Rotom. Now I go for Wish, just to see how much a T-Bot will do. I'm going to assume he's Scarfed at this point, because that definitely does not look like Specs damage. So I get my Wish back up next turn, and I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam, assuming he'd want to switch, but I guess not. Ice Beam still does a respectable amount of damage, I guess. So now he's down pretty low, and Foxman is definitely looking all fine and healthy at the moment. Now, here's the part where he does decide to switch. I guess because I didn't get rocks up, he can then save his Rotom for later. Hopefully go for either a Blizzard or a T-Bolt on something. So I go for Wish again, just in case he does want to attack, as he brings in the Sudowoodo. Now, Sudowoodo doesn't have the best of attack stats, but I'm still fearing a Stone Edge or whatever. Definitely do not want unnecessary damage. So I bring in Meganium as he goes for Toxic. He does miss, which is definitely unfortunate, but I don't know if it made too much difference, as I do have the Aromatherapy. Now, Littlefoot here is definitely packing something which will come in towards the end of the game, which a lot of people don't expect on a physical wall. But you'd be surprised how handy it comes in, or how much it comes in handy. That's how I should have phrased the sentence. People like Vigoroth or Meganium can definitely make good use of this move, and like I said, you'll see it towards the end. So I go for Giga Drain, does a hell of a lot of damage to Sudowoodo, which is definitely not Grass type, as I keep thinking it's Rock/Grass, but it's not. You ain't Cradilly, baby. That being said, it does get access to Wood Hammer, which can catch a lot of people off guard. So I kill off Sudowoodo, back to full again, which is definitely great. Now in comes Rotom, and I don't want to take any chances with taking damage on Meganium, and I figure Meganium's going to be more useful than Glaceon at this point. So I go back to Glaceon to take either Trick or Blizzard or whatever he goes for, just because I can. I care less about Glaceon than my Meganium. Goes for Blizzard, that's fine, doesn't really do anything to Glaceon, and it goes down to Poison. Now in comes the Pelipper. First time I've seen a Pelipper as well. Definitely do like the Pelippers. I used to run one back in 3rd gen as my main, like, flyer in the team during the, what do you call it? Like, during the main playthrough of the game, I guess. Just, I had a Pelipper. Nice stats, you know, decent physical defense, nice speed, overall decent Pokemon. Just an unfortunate typing, quad weakness to electricity. Now, I go for an Ice Beam, does a surprising chunk of damage. Jesus Christ, Glaceon, you have no special attack investment and you still do decent damage. What is going on? Now, Pelipper is almost down to a range where he's going to die to poison. I guess any hit from this point will kill him. So I bring in the Don. I do not want to take any kind of special attack, so I'm not going to go for Hone Claws. Just going to go for Ice Punch and finish him off. Ice Punch was technically my best move to go for. And this is an Expert Belt Golduck, so it's got Ice Punch, Aqua Jet, Cross Chop, and Hone Claws. Now on this first turn here, I definitely should have switched out. Staying in against a Muck which can potentially just set up all day over Golduck was definitely not a good idea. Now most Mucks tend to be max special defense, max HP, and then like Curse, Shadow Sneak, Poison Jab, and something else? What does it normally carry? Maybe Ice Punch or something? But it goes for Shadow Sneak for some reason as I bring in my Heatmor. Now Heatmor, I kind of figure I can at least get off some damage with the Fire Blast. Now I do have a plan to take down the Muck, but it all depends on whether or not he's actually going to attack me or not. Like I said, you'll see what I mean in a sec, but goes for a Poison Jab, kills off Heatmor. That's fine. Heatmor is very used to dying. I don't think I have many games where Heatmor survives till the end. Sorry, Heatmor. You're in line with the Death Fodder Pokemon like Tentacool, like Wormadam. He's in the same kind of ballpark, you know? Now it goes for Poison Jab on my physically defensive Meganium, and I whip out the counter. Boom! Counter straight in the face, Muck. How does Meganium counter? I have no idea, but it does. Go for a counter, and it takes out the Muck, which is brilliant because otherwise I would have been absolutely screwed. I'd have no other way of taking him down. So, yep, that was the game. I think all I had left was Meganium. Fargus was dead, Heatmor was dead, Grim was dead, Glaceon was dead. I think Golduck was still alive. Yeah, because I switched out Golduck. But, yep, in any case, that's the game. Very interesting game indeed, and hope you all enjoyed. No, was Glaceon still alive? I don't even know. Who cares? The point is, Meganium pulls through, and Meganium was definitely the star player. So, hope you all enjoyed, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.